Welcome to Astrology 101 with Jamie and Mary.
Welcome to the internet. Have a look
Oh my
around.
gosh.
It's in my brain.
Welcome to the Ditzy Chicks. Turn your
Anything
brains off.
Right. Most things that your brain can think of really can't be found, but can be discussed here.
Oh my gosh.
We'll
my
discuss
my
anything.
brain will find it and your brain will go, oh yeah, that exists.
And then your brain will go, I have a way to reference something halfway related to it.
I have a problem. This is your
I've got a
brain.
reference.
This is your brain on the internet.
This is your brain on
For
the
real.
internet.
Oh god.
You will get on the internet and die.
Speaking of the internet, we have the internet pulled up right now because we're going to talk about Rachel Zegler, who was recently casted for Snow White for Disney's live action Snow White.
As
If you're
you
not
may
familiar
know.
with that mess, there was rumors that they were going to cancel it. I guess they aren't canceling it. Boo womp. But she made like this whole thing where she was just dogging on Snow White and about how it scared her, and she's never seen it. She's seen it once and she hated it, and then she went on the ride and it scared her, and she was like it's no longer 1947. So and obviously so, and whatever the fuck she was saying, and she got so much hate for all the bullshit she was spewing out of her mouth.
I know
Which
that's all
sucks.
over TikTok right now.
Well, it sucks because it was the very like the start of her career. Like you look up her past movies and stuff, she really hadn't been in anything big until this, and now she's fucking ruined it.
whatever it was, West Side Story she was in before.
Was she? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't pay
Which
attention to musicals.
I'm actually not a big fan of West Side Story.
I've never ever
It's
seen
just
it.
I mean, West Side Story is just a different version of Romeo and Juliet to me, except with just music that I can't stand.
I was gonna say it's a musical,
and
right?
dance numbers that I can't stand.
Sorry, every time I think of West Side Story, I think of the one song that they have in Anger Management, and then I just think of Anger Management, not the show, the
what
movie.
song?
See that pretty girl in the mirror there? What mirror? Where?
Oh.
That's from West Side Story, right?
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I block
But
out West Side Story because
see
I
Adam
dislike
Sandler
it
and
so
Jack
much.
Nicholson sitting in a car, just being ever so slightly.
See that pretty girl in there?
Have you ever seen that movie?
I saw Anger Management probably when I was like 14 years old.
Dude, the movie
so I don't remember.
The movie is so funny. It's
I remember it being funny.
It's one of my favorite movies. On like, I wouldn't say it's at the level for me where it's like at Tommy Boy, but it's definitely like one of my comfort movies for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny because Mr. Deeds is one of my comfort movies.
And I've never
As
seen
far
that
as
one.
Adam Sandler, you've not seen shit, Mary.
We watched. I watched. I think Little Nicky.
Oh my god, I
for
fucking
the
love
first
Little
time
Nicky.
months ago.
You know what makes me so sad is Alex and I were trying to pick out a movie like I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "Oh, we can watch Little Nicky," and he was like, "No," and I'm like,
What?
I'm so sad right now because
Oh
I
my
think that
gosh.
movie's so stupid and funny.
It is. Well, you know what? And I think I resonate with it so much because I'm still Little Nicky deep down on the inside because I was emo in high school. And I'm still emo deep down. But speaking of that, real quick before we actually like move on, my brother and I put together a Spotify playlist of songs that we want to learn together. That way we can have like little jam sessions. And I'm really looking at like the music I've added and the music he's added. And
Is it vastly different?
It's very different, and you can very much so tell that we have very different like rising signs.
Yeah.
Because his is
and
like
moon signs.
Yes. His is more like electronica indie. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like the more modern stuff. And mine is very edgy rock. Like I literally added Spoon Man by Soundgarden and like Man in a Box and stuff like that. Like mine is all like headbanging stuff, and his is like vibing stuff. Like you listen to it and you can just vibe to it. And I'm like, this is the definition of same parents, different people.
Yeah. Sometimes me and Dylan are like that, where like I can see and I'm like, you're not my twin. You'll never be my twin. And then other times I'm like, yeah,
you're my twin.
Ultimate twin powers. Or what is it? Wonder twin powers activate.
Yeah. I'll have to later when we're done. I'm gonna show you a TikTok that I sent to my brother, and he didn't like acknowledge it at all, and it kind of hurt my feelings. But he sent me something funny back, so like I'll take it.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Yeah, That'll work.
Mhm.
Okay, so getting back to Rachel Zegler. She was born May 3rd, 2001. It's the same
Really?
same year you were born.
No, 2000. That's only a few months after me, though.
Wow, you're older than she is.
Yeah, by like
Weird.
4
She's
months.
okay, so she's a
December, January,
baby.
February, March, April, May. I'm older than her by like 5 months, almost.
Wow. Um,
That's crazy to me. I thought she was younger than that, honestly. I thought she was more to like I thought she was like 2003-ish maybe. Cuz she looks like she was born in 2003. I
I
don't know what about her just screams 2003 to me, but that's whatever.
um, I guess on here it has that she was born at 10 a.m., which is oddly on the dot for an
Yeah.
o'clock. So it might not be right either, but it has her which makes sense. She's only born a few months after you.
Yeah.
So I find that funny, but apparently she's notorious for being hard to work with, and we can throw that out with her sun sign and her Mercury are both in Taurus, but her Mars is in Sagittarius
Mhm.
and her Uranus is in Aquarius. It's where it's comfy
Yeah.
and out of the ordinary. Her moon is in Virgo. That's interesting. She's got her Jupiter is in Gemini. Her Saturn is in Gemini in the 11th house. Her 11th house is ruled by Taurus. If these houses are correct that I'm looking at. I mean, her Pluto and Mars are both in Sagittarius.
Yeah.
So she's got Pluto energy there, Mars energy, right in a fire sign on the
Honestly, I mean,
spot,
I
Mary.
wouldn't say that a Mars or Pluto in Sagittarius is like a bad thing. I mean, it's not like
No,
the
there's no
worst thing.
bad
No, no,
things.
no. I mean, like it's trying to find my words. I would say a Mars in Sagittarius could go either way because Sagittarians are very optimistic people. So
Yeah.
if your Mars, which is like your anger
Well, it's also
and
your
your
actions,
actions,
how you
you
assert
could
yourself in the world.
you could look for optimism in everything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But also Sagittarians are like blunt. So
Yeah.
you could also just be super harsh
Well,
with your
see,
actions.
there's where, like, because she has her Mercury in Taurus
Hmm.
and then her Mars is in Sagittarius.
Right. Which are two very contrasting placements.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very different placements. As
Yes.
somebody like I usually don't get along with Tauruses very well. So I don't know. She could have based like just with her Mercury and Mars, there could be some inner conflict between her actions and her like what she wants to do physically and then what actually comes out of her mouth, you know?
Her actions definitely do seem very blunt,
Yeah.
which shows in, how hard she's been to work with and how, unfavorable her interviews have been.
Yeah.
And, but I can see, like, where when you look at, like, how assertive she is mixed with how stubborn she can be in what she's
Mhm.
talking about, I can definitely see where she, like, won't give a shit
Yeah.
what she's saying to anybody.
Yeah.
And I can't see the angles here.
It's definitely like a I'm going to say this and I mean it and I don't care what you think type
Yeah.
thing. But
Well, cuz I mean the way I'm looking at it right now too, her Mercury and Mars could almost be in opposition
okay.
to each other for, like, angles wise. And right there's problems.
Yeah.
Anything that's in opposition, there's problems in
Yeah.
with those two together. Her Venus is in Aries. I'm honestly though, like,
Hmm.
I'm just, like, looking at the Pluto aspect too, because, like, when you have her Mars and Pluto, I don't think they're close enough to be conjunct, but they're still in the same sign. So when you've got Pluto energy in Sagittarius and then also Mars energy in Sagittarius,
Mhm.
I feel like that's such a weird combination
Yeah.
because because like even when you look at like what those two rule, are both of those planets rule Scorpio. So they both hold a lot of that kind of energy.
Yeah.
And then just being in your face sign of Sagittarius, it's like there's some trouble brewing there.
Yeah. Ooh, something bad. But that's how I feel. My Pluto is also in Sagittarius. I think most of the people born around me are going to have their Pluto in Sagittarius, right?
Yeah, because Pluto spends quite a bit of time in each sign.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you think about it, when I was born in 92, and my Pluto is in Scorpio.
Yeah.
So Pluto was in Scorpio for such a long time
Mm-hmm.
there. And then whenever it switched over to being in Sagittarius is where your generation
Gotcha.
picked that up.
Okay.
That's why if you think about it, there's like a lot of death happening to anything millennial right
Yeah, I
now.
know.
Like we're just all so transformative
Oh.
and the old ways are dying
Yeah.
and tradition is dying, like the common things that were okay and happened 40
Yeah.
years ago, like almost all of that's dead.
Mm-hmm.
The way families being raised, dead.
Yeah.
Rip.
A lot of things are
Straight to
changing right
dead.
now. straight,
Straight to dead.
straight to death.
And all of that stuff is like exposed too. Like everyone's
Yeah.
exposing their parents for their treatment. Everyone's yeah, just everything.
Yeah.
Um Pluto has a hard for it, quote unquote, not being a planet, it sure as hell affects people.
Is it
I would
only
know. It rules my chart.
is it
I am
only
literally
just not
ruled
a
by
planet
Pluto.
because of how small it is? Didn't they consider it a dwarf planet? So it's a planet. It's just not
Yeah.
a big planet.
Well, I mean, look at Chiron. Chiron's not even really technically a planet
Yeah.
either.
Oh, but anyways, we also were looking at Taylor Swift's birth chart because she's a Sagittarius.
Oh yeah, I gotta bring that back up.
Yeah. But I'll let you.
I literally typed in Taylor in the search bar, and the first things that come: Taylor Swift birth chart, Taylor Swift rising sign, Taylor Lautner birth chart.
Ooh, I would love to know Taylor Lautner's birth chart.
I bet you would.
I'm a Taylor Lautner girl. No, I have to. I have to know. I have a feeling. I feel it in my nuggets.
Okay, so I have it pulled up on Astro chart. It says she was born at 5:17 a.m. Oh, and then here it says birth time accuracy poor. Okay.
It's like in Sims when you're growing a plant and it says like it has like the plant quality and it has like poor, bad, good,
Yeah.
great, excellent. Oh
Our
god.
Taylor Swift plant chart is poor. Okay, see, now this also says that she's born at 5:17 a.m. Okay, so for Taylor Swift, we're just going to go for 5:17 a.m. because I've got a couple sources that say that exact same time. So
Okay.
that's what we're going to go with. But holy shit. Look at her birth chart. It
Yeah.
almost looks exactly like who's that guy with the podcast that everyone hated?
Andrew Tate?
Yes.
The human trafficker? Oh
Yes.
my god.
Do you
You looked at his birth chart?
His birth chart was almost exclusively uh Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. Look at hers. It's almost the exact
Yeah.
same.
Murder.
Except
Not Taylor Swift.
murder.
Not Taylor Swift.
But I mean, she's got a couple Cancer placements, and everyone knows Cancers are nice. Her Jupiter's in Cancer, by the way, and so is her Chiron. So
Yeah.
I can't really look at houses, but
You said her Chiron's in Cancer?
yes,
Well, I mean,
she have family wounds.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I was going to try to connect it to her unlucky love life, but that it has nothing to do with
I
Cancer.
was gonna say it's. I mean, and that's in her 8th house. If it was back in her 7th house,
Yeah.
like that's where I need to know if the houses and her ascending are correct, because if they're not, that could slide right back very easily into
Mm-hmm.
being in her 7th house of relationships. Her north node's in Aquarius. God damn, she has got Jesus. She's got Mercury, Neptune, and Saturn and Uranus all in Capricorn.
I mean, she's got a great career.
But that's in her 2nd house. So
Oh.
that's all with her money and
Yeah.
possessions.
Well, money. I mean,
Yeah, possessions, what she finds value in. But Sagittarius actually rules her 2nd house, anyways. Even though all those are in Capricorn, Sagittarius rules her 2nd house.
hmm.
It says her ascending is Scorpio. Pluto is also in Scorpio for her, which makes sense. 'Cause that's where it should be for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
She's got all this shit in 12th house, 1st house, 2nd house, 3rd house.
Hmm.
And then the only other house that she has anything else in is the 8th house. Everything else is empty. That's actually interesting. Also, if her birth time is correct, most of her house rulers are the same as mine
Oh,
because
really?
I'm also a Scorpio ascending.
Hmm.
So that would make my house rulers almost all the same. Like
Hmm.
Sagittarius also rules my 2nd house.
Yeah.
Aries rules my 5th house, just like hers. But obviously, my planets are in different places.
Mm-hmm.
This is interesting. Her sun sign is in her 1st house of Sagittarius.
Hmm.
So she's very much a me. And when your sun sign is opposite of your relationship house, there's some problems there, as we all know.
Yeah.
And we can throw it together on an episode
Yeah.
because we're just like
We're
spitting
just
out
talking, yeah.
shit.
Her Jupiter's also in Cancer. And her Pluto is also in Scorpio.
Taylor Swift's.
And she's got a Scorpio rising. Yeah.
That Scorpio rising. I know it
I
too
can't.
well.
I can't with this woman.
Where's her uh where's her Jupiter?
Cancer. Where? In her chart?
Oh no, I just meant like what sign is it under?
Cancer. Teardrops on my guitar. That reminds me, you said teardrops on my guitar, and it reminded me of in elementary school for the talent show. I got I got my ex-boyfriend at the time, who we're in elementary school, so
Yeah.
ex-boyfriends don't even matter. Like he ended up being my best friend later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got my ex-boyfriend and his cousin to do that with me for the talent show, where they were basically backup dancers, and I had choreographed what they were going to be doing.
Oh my
And I
god.
wore my mom's old prom dress, which was such a beautiful prom dress. It was
Yeah.
like a deep midnight blue and had like
That's crazy that
sparkles
she
on
still
it.
had it.
My mom's a very she keeps things. She's a very sentimental person. She
Okay.
keeps everything. She still has the chalices that she got from her and my dad's wedding.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so I had that prom dress on and we had safety pendants so it fit me.
Yeah.
And I was singing that song while they were dancing behind me for the for the talent show. And if that doesn't scream Leo rising to you, I don't know what does.
Oh my god.
Performative motherfucker.
That is so funny.
I actually went through a little Taylor Swift phase, and it's funny because now I'm like, fuck that bitch. Fuck that bitch and her fucking music. Petty asshole.
Is that because like you're both Sagittarians, so you kind
No.
of clash?
Oh well, maybe, but I just don't like her music like I used to. Like I don't know, it doesn't click with me.
Yeah.
But I like Nicki Minaj, who's also a Sagittarius.
See, I don't like either of them. Do you remember that?
What?
She had like a whole alter ego
No.
where she was just like, oh, now I'm this person. I literally
No.
only know that because our cousin is like a huge Nicki Minaj. She always has been, and I think she always will be.
Sag Sun, Virgo Moon, Sag Mercury, Sag Venus, Capricorn Mars, Scorpio Jupiter, Scorpio Saturn, Uranus Neptune Sagittarius, Pluto Libra, North Node Cancer, and her Chiron is in Taurus for Nicki Minaj.
Ah,
Yeah.
weird.
You know what? I would have pegged her for a Mercury Sagittarius. I can sniff out a Mercury Sagittarius so
Dude, you
easy.
have a radar for that shit.
It's because I have a Mercury Sagittarius. But it's like you always know because of how direct but also harsh somebody is
Yeah.
at talking. You can just tell that, like, yeah, you definitely have a Mercury Sagittarius because Sagittarians are known for being blunt people.
Yeah,
So if a
so
person is more direct and blunt when they're talking to you, more
yeah.
than likely, or they have an attitude. Like I've learned that a lot of Mercury Sagittarius people also have an attitude 99% of the time, which yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's
Like
almost
leave me
like a
alone.
yeah, and it's not even like an intentional attitude either. It's just
No,
like
we also
attitude with our words all the
it
time,
also
even
comes
when we
out
don't
on
mean
our
to.
face a lot more
Mhm.
first before it comes out of our mouth.
Yeah.
I've learned accidentally for myself.
See, that's like you guys, and then also I've known a lot of Aquarians can't hide their feelings because it shows up on their face.
They like to think they do.
Yes, and you know what? Like, because I don't really like.
You
I
don't vibe with
can't vibe with
Aquarians, yeah.
Aquarians very well. It has to be a very grounded Aquarian
Mm-hmm.
for me to be able to vibe with them. But that's one of my favorite qualities of a lot of Aquarians is that you can look at their fucking face and know exactly how they're feeling. And it's like, yup, like this is hilarious. Like
Yeah.
we worked with a girl and like every time at the warehouse, every time we had a morning meeting and they spewed some bullshit that none of us agreed with, I would look at her face and it would just be like, yup, she's fucking upset and
You're gonna
pissed
have to
off
tell
right
me
now.
who later, because then I'll have to like look back and see if I ever noticed it. But I was honestly, when I worked there, I tried to mind my business as much as possible because from you I knew how much drama there was, and I was like, I don't want to be a part of that shit. Don't
Oh
drag me
yeah.
into it. And then I was almost dragged into it when that one tall guy
Hmm.
that was getting around, he
Hmm.
tried to get around with me, and I was like, you
Yeah.
know I'm with somebody. You know I have a boyfriend. You
Yeah.
know who I associate with myself with. Like,
Right.
you can stop
And
right
he
there.
worked here. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows him.
Yeah.
That never happened with me at the warehouse. I don't know if it's because I do have a very much resting bitch face, like unapproachable
Yeah.
face.
You're I don't think it's that. I think it's just so that you naturally have like a very intimidating energy come off of you, so
Yes.
people don't want to try you is really what it is. They don't want to
Honestly,
fuck up. Even though
and
you're like a very sweet person once you like actually open your mouth, you know? But like when you're first approaching you, you are very intimidating as a person who has first approached you before.
yes, because I remember like you had
Mhm.
told me when you first met me, you were so intimidated by me. And I'm like,
Honestly,
well, and my Cancer son was like,
what?
why are you
Yeah.
so intimidated by me? I'm just here to nurture.
Uh-huh.
But then my Scorpio rising's like, it's me.
Yeah.
I did that.
It's me. Hi. Back to Taylor Swift.
Yep. Look at you.
I hate it here.
You have a love
Oh
hate
my gosh.
relationship.
But
You
no,
secretly love her.
oh
I
my
know it.
god, probably. Dude, I remember though when Dylan was we made the plans for him to bring me over to introduce me to you
Mhm.
guys. I remember I was so obsessive about like what I was gonna wear, like like what was gonna happen, like stuff like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
and then you
remember
come over
asking
here.
him, and I was like, "What do I wear? Like, what should I wear?" Because I didn't know like how you guys were as a family,
Yeah.
because some families are like they dress up all the time. Some families are really relaxed, and he's like, just wear whatever you want. And I was like, that doesn't help me. And I had like a little panic attack. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna trust him, and I'm just gonna wear. I wore a blue hoodie with black leggings over
Yeah, it
here,
works
and
for
then I come
us.
over, and you and mom were wearing leggings and t-shirts,
Oh
and
yeah,
I think
probably
you were wearing
flannels.
you. I think you were wearing your Harry Potter leggings and a long sleeve. I think.
My
Yeah.
Harry Potter
And I
leggings.
remember
That's
when
what
I came
got
into the
me
house,
married.
mom and dad were cooking or doing dishes or
Mhm.
something, and you were cutting up food for Oliver because I think we were having a fish fry.
Yeah, something like
Because
that.
that's when I started dating Dylan is around Easter time,
Mhm.
and I remember we waited like a month or so before we introduced each other to our parents.
Yeah,
Um,
naturally.
yeah, so that was fun.
Well, yeah, you come over to this house and you've got mom with her Gemini sun, fucking Gemini this, Gemini that, Gemini
Mm-hmm.
rising, and then you got dad and his Sagittarius rising, and
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure dad's Sagittarius rising,
Okay.
and then which is why mom was so attracted to him because I'm pretty sure she's got a Gemini rising, so her
Oh.
relationship would go over to
Yeah.
Sagittarian. Um, and then you got Dylan's Sagittarius rising. So everyone's crazy
I know
and
you were kind of just
talking.
drowned out there, weren't
And
you? With your
yeah,
Scorpio rising.
why do you think I have such an issue with people talking over me?
And that's why I'm the person that goes, I'm listening. I'm sitting there and you're talking, and I realize that you stopped talking because no one else is listening and everybody's talking over you. I'm like, I'm listening, Jamie. I promise.
There is such a thing as too much Gemini and Sagittarius energy.
Yep.
And my Scorpio rising's like low key, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you all if you talk over me one more goddamn time. I swear to God.
That's so funny. No, there is a lot of fire in your family. And
Yeah.
I don't think
And you
you
don't
don't have a
realize
lot of
that.
fire in your chart, do you?
I've got my Aries
Yeah,
Aries Aries moon.
yeah.
Well, I have a lot of Leo. That's my thing. I
Okay.
have a lot of Leo. That's where I ended up being the performer in school
Yeah.
and got voted most likely to become an actress or something like that.
Yeah. I think like looking back on my high school years, I definitely like a lot of people did not like me. And I know a lot of people did not like me because I was very much so like a look at me type of person. Like
I'm going to be
notice
honest
me,
with
see
you.
me.
If I was going to high school with you, I'd fucking hate your guts.
Dylan tells me all the time that he would have loved me when we were younger. And I keep telling him, like, no, you would not. You would have hated me. You would not have liked me then to the extent that you like me now. We probably would have worked great as friends, but I don't think he would have been romantically interested in me because of the person I was before I started dating him.
Possibly. I don't know. I'll have to look back at our charts, but like we definitely have some kind of very prominent Aquarius placements
Dylan has
where,
no Aquarius placements.
well, what house does
Oh, you
Aquarius
know
rule
what?
for him?
That's fair. Go
Because
ahead.
for me, like me wanting to be in the spotlight with some of my Leo placements, um, and then knowing that I can be in the spotlight because I value being so different from everybody else. Like, it's actually really crazy how much I don't vibe with Aquarians when I actually have very surprising Aquarius traits. You know, like my God complex.
I don't
um,
know how to read this.
is Dylan's
Yeah,
chart.
that's where his Aquarius is, but I don't think it rules anything. I don't know. I don't think I'm looking at it right.
Aquarius rules his third house.
Okay.
Um,
Is the Aquarius the yellow and the blue is the Gemini? Is that what I was saying?
no, the
No,
blue is Pisces.
Pisces. Sorry. I mean, I'm going to have
So
to look back up.
Pisces is completely swallowed up in his third house,
Mm-hmm.
but Aquarius rules his third house.
Okay.
So he'll point out everything in a very Aquarius way.
Yeah.
So that's probably where you see a lot of your attraction to him too is um
Oh, my Aquarius Venus.
yeah, because that's how he
Yeah.
communicates is in a very Aquarius way. Um but I forgot where we were going with this.
I was
Oh
talking
yeah.
about how nobody liked me in high school and he would not have any, insists that he does. And you said I wouldn't have liked you either. And I was like, that's okay. Honestly, looking back, I didn't even like me.
Well,
So
see,
no, I don't blame anybody for not liking me because of how I was honestly borderline pick me in high school. If I
yeah,
were to put a label on it.
I can see that. That's why I would have hated you though,
Yeah.
because I hated that type in school.
Mhm.
Um, Dylan would have liked you regardless because his rising matches your sun.
That's fair.
Just like no matter what, I always have soft spot for Scorpios.
Mhm.
And I know some people hate Scorpios.
I fucking
Like
love
I
Scorpios.
love
I
Scorpios.
have
That's
not met a
a thing.
Scorpio I have not met. Or
That is in fact a fact.
I haven't met a Scorpio I didn't like, is what I wanted to
Yeah.
say. Every single Scorpio I've been friends with or encountered, I've just not, I don't want to say fallen in love with because that has like,
Yeah.
but like in a platonic way, I have fallen in love with them. Jesus Christ.
Christ. So it's very weird to me. I can never peg those correctly.
Hmm.
I've never actually done a whole lot for Libra season. Or even like with Libra energy, because I don't have a lot of Libra friends. I've got one Libra friend.
I technically only have the one Libra friend who's Dylan's friend. The rest of my friends are or like air
Air, fire
signs and
signs.
fire signs, and then I've
Hmm.
got one earth sign friend, and not any of one of my friends are water signs
We couldn't be
for their
more
sun
different
signs.
because I have all earth sign and water sign friends.
It's because we have different elements in our birth
We
chart.
are literally
We are
different.
literally two very different people, Jamie.
So different
Yeah.
people.
Um, but I personally love Libra season, and
Hmm.
but I don't know. I just there's something about it, and I think it's just because of how harmonious it is, how it's supposed
Or
to
how
be, like
harmonious it should be.
how harmonious it's supposed to be.
Hmm.
And I love that it's a time to work on your relationships with people, and I
Yeah.
love having relationships with people. I like fixing things, and I like being a problem solver, and I love communication and
Yeah.
all their good stuff. So I love doing stuff for Libra season to make sure that it is to the fullest
Yeah.
that it could be for me.
Hmm.
Like I made a shrimp alfredo today, and I fried the shrimp in butter, garlic, and lemon, and like squeezed the lemon juice out, and I
Hmm.
saved the lemon rinds so I can put it in a simmer pot with
Yeah.
some lavender, some salt, and some eggshell for a harmony lemon pot for
Lemon bar.
a harmony simmer pot. And I personally like doing simmer pots because they just work a little better for me.
Yeah.
They make me feel a little better as
Hmm.
opposed to burning incense or burning candles. Like that just stuff doesn't work for me, which we talked about a few episodes
Yeah.
ago. And I think it has a lot to do with my moon sign
Yeah.
because I have a
It's
Cancer moon.
weird how people won't know unless they look into it how much your moon sign comes out
Mm-hmm.
in when you want to feel comfort.
Yeah.
Like when you want to be loved, when you want to be comforted, it's
Mm-hmm.
always your moon sign that's like, this is how you do
Yep.
this for
I mean,
me.
I feel comfort when I'm drinking coffee or tea, both
Hmm.
of which are made with what, water?
Liquids.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I love taking baths. I love swimming. I love going outside when it's raining. Like all of that, like water shit.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love fire, but it doesn't do for me what water does.
Yeah. See, I'm a fire person. Like of course I love water too because I am a water sign.
Yeah.
Um but for me it's definitely candles, fireplace. I've never had a fireplace in my life,
Yeah.
and that's literally like when I think about it, even you've seen the houses that I like post and everything. They
Yes.
all have fucking 14 fireplaces in it. Like
Yeah.
it's like, why do you need that many fireplaces? I need that many
Yeah.
fireplaces. I
For me, for
need that
myself.
for
I mean,
myself.
if you've got that many fireplaces, you're not spending a whole lot on a heating bill.
No,
Your
you're spending a lot
fireplace,
on wood though, for sure.
I mean, not
And
ever chopping it yourself.
if you have to go someplace to chop
I
it
mean,
down.
that's fair. Speaking of moon signs, though, so tomorrow is the full moon in Aries. So I kind of wanted to talk about what we could do for a full moon in Aries to use its energy to the fullest potential for us.
Um, Me specifically, I have an Aries oil that I've made.
Mm-hmm.
I call it my go the distance oil from the movie Hercules.
Mm.
Like I will go the distance
Yeah.
because to me, Hercules is a very dreamy Aries. If you
Yes.
think about like he's got like prominent like Libra and Pisces in him, but
Yeah.
he's very Aries. Like,
Yes.
hey, I got to get back into Mount Olympus.
Yeah.
I got to
Action
do all
guy.
this.
He's an
Oh
action
yeah.
guy.
I have to,
Do now,
defeat
think later type person.
right. Just, I got to take out this lion. I have to whatever. So, I made this oil which is all about, passion, which is helpful for relationships.
Yeah.
You always have to keep a little bit of the element of passion in there
Yeah.
regardless. I just sold a bottle of it a couple days
Oh,
ago
really?
actually. Yep, I shipped that out. Um so hopefully it goes out to that person and they get what they need out of it. So I'll be doing a lot of that or using a lot of that oil on pressure points and maybe even a ritual with it.
Yeah.
Um I mean that oil can definitely be used anytime. It's just I use it in specific times and I make it during specific times of the year. So chart the usual stuff, moon water, charging crystals,
Yeah.
charge my ring. The ring that my husband proposed to me with is a
Yeah.
moonstone, and he just felt that that was the best stone for me. And whoa, look at that. I'm a Cancer. And he
Yeah.
got me a moonstone. So I usually charge my ring. I charge my moldavite
Okay.
because that bitch has helped me with a lot of stuff, even
Yeah.
though it was painful.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole point of Moldavite is it pushes you into change, but
Hmm.
it's always gonna hurt.
Well, my husband, I usually, because I made it into a necklace.
Mhm.
Um, and this bitch was expensive. Like
Yeah,
I
Moldavite
spent,
isn't cheap.
and it was before the Moldavite craze too,
Mhm. I
because
remember you telling me about that because you were
yeah,
so upset.
I was so pissed off. Well,
Yeah.
like, cause even uh, my husband was like, cause he wanted to get a specific stone in his wedding ring too.
Mhm.
So we found moldavite, and he's like, "That's what I need. I need that stone." And
In
here's
your wedding ring, though?
yes, but he has so much eighth house energy that he
Okay.
welcomes transformation.
Yeah.
And but we took it to like every jeweler, and they're like, "No, we can't put this stone in a ring. We can't
Why?
do it because it's a glass stone and they can't do it."
Oh,
So that's one of those things too that like I know a lot of like moldavite rings aren't real
yeah.
because had actual jewelers tell me they cannot put that stone in a ring.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh, interesting. And there are lots of fakes out there. So we have it in necklace form. I put it in a necklace, and I haven't worn it in a while, but the last time I wore it, I was on like day 3, and it was like wearing the locket from Harry Potter, like a Horcrux. And I was so pissed off. Like I was so angry at everything all the time. And here comes my husband, like fucking Hermione on Harry Potter 7. That's like, take it off. Take it off right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, take off the necklace. Like, taking it off. And he's like, do you feel better? And I'm like, I am a little more calm.
Did I
I'm a little more
remember
calm now.
there was I think it was when we were packaging up my wedding invitations the first time,
Mhm.
and I felt like I was having like an out of body existence, and I was like super like airheaded, and I didn't know what was happening. You remember that? And
What
you
were you?
gave me your tiger's eye to hold on to, and then I felt fine. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Lucky I had that
I
tiger's
know,
eye.
and it was like a I don't know if
It's a big
it was a
rock,
bigger
wasn't it?
one, yeah, and I held it,
Yeah.
and it took a few minutes, but after a while, I was like, "I don't know what was wrong with me," and you're like, "It's probably one of my other crystals I've got sitting out somewhere."
Yeah. I know. I've had a
Uh,
lot of shit sitting out that I've noticed will create chaos with my kids
mm,
too. And I'm like, maybe I need to confine all my crystals
yeah.
to a single area.
All of mine are in a drawer, and it's a wooden drawer, so they can't like. Because I remember there was one time I had all of my crystals in a glass jar, not thinking anything was gonna happen,
Hmm.
and Dylan witnesses too. It was just sitting in the glass jar, and everything was fine. And then a
It
few minutes go by,
busted.
the jar shattered.
Yeah. It's
Nothing
too much
happened.
energy in
It
there.
just shattered. There
Hmm.
was no fluctuation in temperature. There was nothing going on. It was literally just sitting there.
So yeah, uh, full moon, charging shit up. Honestly, if it's nice where you are and the full moon is shining, go out there and fucking lay in it.
Yeah.
Look at the sky. Just look at the world around you with the light from the moon, because
Mhm.
the world will look different. You'll feel different.
Yeah.
You know how like the sun gives you certain kinds of energy and it gives you vitamin D? The moon also gives you a different kind of energy that you
Yeah.
can live in for a while. I wish I did that a lot more, but I get so goddamn tired from my kids. I'm in
Yeah,
bed by
that's
like 9
fair.
o'clock.
Honestly, I personally get exhausted on full moons. Every full or new moon
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me
exhausts
that.
me, and I wish it didn't because I would love to do more stuff for full and new moons.
Hmm.
But I just feel so drained on those days. And then the next day, I'm fine.
Libra season is a great time too, aside from looking for harmony in things. It's a great time to find harmony within yourself
Yeah.
and how you, I guess, exert yourself in the world, because a lot of that would be like Aries energy
Yeah.
is just how you exert yourself too. But combining that with Libra is how do you exert yourself or assert yourself into the world in a way that's good for everybody and not
Mm.
just you. So look at how you dress, how you talk to people, like those like little details
Mhm.
of how people see you. How can you be more harmonious for others while also still being good to yourself and treating yourself and bringing out the best in yourself. So, when do we feel at our best? When we've done proper skincare, our nightly routines, our morning routines, which you should have established a bit in Virgo season,
Yeah.
because Virgo season is all about routines also.
Yes.
So you establish all your routines, your skincare routines, your health routines.
Mhm.
Virgo's all about health. They're about the digestive system. So now that we just left that, now that you're healthier and getting into routines, you're starting to feel a little more glow, a little more
Yeah.
yourself. So now what do? You can kind of reinvent your look, reinvent yourself a little bit so that you feel better about yourself, but then also your actions are in harmony with others.
Mhm.
Which I've kind of been in the process of doing ever since Venus went into Leo, because
Okay.
my Venus is in Leo
Yeah.
and Venus rules Libra. So, all through Venus being in Leo and then Venus going retrograde, and now that Venus is also direct, I've still been on this path of kind of reinventing myself. So I've been looking at what I wear. Let's get rid of this stuff. Let's kind of like literally reinvent myself.
Yeah.
Like what colors work best for me? What colors work best in my house?
Yeah.
How can I create a more harmonious house for everybody? So now I'm kind of reinventing my space after I've decluttered from Virgo season. Now I'm bringing in things that work well for everybody and
Yeah.
not just look good and not just, are cheap or whatever, but
Yeah.
actually work. So now I'm putting systems in place. And one thing that I have been working on is color charts for all the different Venus signs. So if you know your
Oh.
Venus sign, in my blog that I'll link below, you can look up your color chart for your Venus sign. Extra points if you combine that with your rising sign, since your rising
Hmm.
sign is how people see you,
Yeah. How
anyways, or
you come off
how
to people.
and how you prefer people to see
Yeah.
you. So,
Because that's what your rising sign is. Your rising sign is your mask.
yeah.
Um,
What?
I was watching a video months ago just trying to understand how to read a birth chart more.
Mhm.
And the girl I was watching, I don't remember what video it was, but she said that the way you can look at your big three is by saying, I am a sun sign wearing the mask of a rising sign
Mhm.
with the soul of a moon sign.
Yep.
And I'm like, that is the most accurate shit I've ever heard because
Yeah.
that really is how it be. You know,
It'd be
it
like
really do
that.
be like that, unless your rising sign is Leo, because then it's all just sun sign. It's
Yes.
all, oops, all sun sign.
All sun all the time.
Yeah, that's why I'm so
Um
edgy.
um all right, you guys take care out there and just go out there and be your best every day. I know it's hard. We're all going through hard times right now and
Yeah,
the economy sucks and the world sucks, but at least we can, you know,
yeah.
control how we act in the world and
Make sure you're drinking enough water. And
fluids.
if you take vitamins, medication, what have you, make sure you're taking those because we are transitioning seasons
Mhm.
and
Seasonal
seasonal depression
depression.
is going to hit everybody. I know
Yep.
it started to hit me, so I started taking my vitamins again because I felt fine over the summer.
Oh yeah, everyone feels
And
fine over the
now
summer.
I just had this really bad week. So now
Mhm.
I've started taking vitamin D prenatal and vitamin E again.
Yep.
Um
Same.
Especially it doesn't help that I already have depression. Like I was diagnosed with depression.
Yeah.
And so then seasonal depression doesn't help that anymore. And it's literally, I think it's just my doctor had told me this was years ago that I was vitamin D deficient. So I was like, okay, well, let's try taking vitamin D before I take
Well,
antidepressants.
most people in our area are vitamin D deficient too.
Oh yeah.
Like
There's no
ridiculous amount.
sun.
Yeah.
Where's the sun?
Yeah. Where's the sun
Where
comes out at
is the
3.
sun?
Doo 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 doo.
Ah! Okay. I think that's where we're going to leave it.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that.
Okay. We'll
All
talk to
right.
you Monday.
Yep. Bye everybody.